Okay, thank you very much indeed, Sean. You're welcome back. You're in tune, as they say, with DestinationUri.com. And if you've .com'd us, then you've got the technology. You're able to do it, and you'll be with us all the time. With me now in studio, Jackie Patterson, a man of Mill Street provenance, I dare say.
Absolutely.
Independent councillor for as long as I can remember, and we're going to be joined on the sofa in the very near future by a good colleague of mine, someone I hope you'll be seeing a lot more of as well on the programme, Sarah Gilbert, and that will be happening presently. But Jackie, first to you, independent councillor. Were you such a cantankerous old git that you couldn't belong to any party?
That's absolutely right. No, joking aside. No,
I think you're an independent mind off Mill Street.
Yeah, always was. And I think it come from family. It was always an independent. It was family were never in any politics, any party politics. But I always say that being an independent councillor suits very well as a councillor, because I think if you were to be an MP or an MLA, I think maybe you should belong to a party, because you need that backing and you need that support.
Well, you would have come under quite a substantial amount of pressure from time to time, because people would have wanted your vote, they would have wanted you on their side, their campaign, and it took a modicum of moral courage to say, no, I'm not going to do it. No. You've had to say no a lot of times.
I had to do, and I had to do that from various parties, political parties too, who wanted to maybe join the party and be an MLA. But I'm a community worker.
Essentially, at heart, that's
yes,
what you are.
And it was my background. You see, was it's always the council, and I've said to just someone a few days ago, if I live to November 2013. I'll be 50 years in local government between being an officer. My background was an officer within the council, the old Urban Council, then Uri and One Council.
Jerry Cronin was the clerk.
He was the man that interviewed me for the job. Many years ago, as I say, in 1963.
And you were the man 40 years ago who observed the opening of the swimming pool and Rowan Hand being standing on the bank as a lifeguard.
That's correct and right.
Wow. Tommy Markey came to declare the place open. We stood there and we were ready to do our business, and we were there for a time.
Over 40 years ago.
40 years ago. And you reminded me too that in our school days up at the Abbey, we were, wait for it, Sean, athletes together.
That's right.
Wow. Those were the days.
We represented the school in the relay.
We
four
did.
of us, yourself, Tommy Rooney from High State. A guy called John Sutton, and I never heard of him again. He lived in Dominic Street.
Yeah.
And he was father was English. I think we're here during the war, and then went back to England again. John Sutton was his name. He was the always I never heard tell of that guy again.
The Abbey. How did you find the Abbey? Because it was a place for me at times, on rare occasions. It was a place the equivalent of the Spanish Inquisition, where you went in. And there was a Christian brother called Torquemada, the head inquisitor, and there he was frightening the living. But I refused to be frightened. I think you did too. We just wouldn't have it. So consequently, we were never victims.
Yeah, and one of the issues that I had at school was I remember one thing that sticks in my mind. I lived very close to school.
Yeah,
we come home for lunch every day.
Yeah, down the big gate. It was a big red gate into the yard where your father had the greyhounds.
That's correct and right.
Yeah,
and
had you the shop next door, which was a kind of an eating house?
No, that was Donoghue's.
Donoghue's were next door, and I can always remember it because it was just an ordinary house. There was a door and there was an ordinary window and a lace curtain halfway up the window.
Right. And one of the most famous eating houses in Uri.
And you would have been bacon and cabbage and the like of it, and buttermilk and whatever, you know.
And that street was, just when you mentioned the street there, was Donoghue's, and just above it there was McAvoy's. There was a Red McAvoy was his name. He was a teacher in the college. When Frank Feely, a colleague, a councillor of mine in the council, come to Newry in 1959, he come to live there. That was his abode. That was his lodging house then, as they called it. And that's how I got to know him from that early stage. But the street, and Frank used to go there, and that's where he went for his dinner or his lunch, whatever. And there was great, the people that come from South Armagh, from the South Down area, particularly on a Thursday. The market traders were to come and have their dinner there.
Opposite your door, was a fruiterer shop.
That's correct.
Fruit and vegetables. There's a high wall went round the side of it.
That's right. Boils.
Boils.
And then it was boiled handready of later years.
Boiled handready of later years.
That's right. And the wee yard just opposite the house there. And
we kind of shoot the breeze very well on this, don't we? I tell you, without a doubt. What was the moment, the kind of the road to Damascus moment, Pauline moment of you thinking, I'm going to be a councillor?
Well, it was very simple. I got early retirement from the council, and I was very friendly with another independent councillor, was Eugene Markey.
Yes.
And I met Eugene one day, and he said, "What are you going to do?" He says, "Wait, look, I'm taking a rest for a while." He says, "Why did you stand as a councillor?" Who was an independent councillor, and a cousin of his and a fellow called Dickie Rogers.
I remember Dickie Rogers. Surely
decided we'd run as independent councillors. So I came out on top and stayed there, and I liked it. I grew to like it. And it was easy for me because being an ex-officer in the council, there's some things I wanted to introduce that I thought would be of benefit to the ratepayers. And I said if I was in there, I could do that, and I achieved some of those things.
Yeah.
I achieved the bulky collection, for example. I took a notice of motion in for the council to set up these amenity sites where you can come and.
Did you do that?
I took a motion for that. Those sort of things because I'd see the need for them.
Yeah.
Through my work over the years.
Yeah, you had the ability to think outside the box, and you did so recently when you said the grass clippings from the central reservations and the hedgerows should be given to the local farm. Where did you dream that one
out?
I
thought it was a good idea because I live just on the edge of Newry, and I see some of the farmers there, and some of the farmers are small farmers around my area, and I thought. Like I said, look, we always used to have the cuttings, and they were coming in the road service or the council were taking those grass cuttings to the refuse dump.
Yeah.
So I said, look, wouldn't it be some of those smaller farmers could really make use of that? So that's what the idea was. Just
amazing.
On the spur of the moment, sitting in the council chamber, and I thought, I always think of my neighbours.
There was the deep unkind cut of your personal loss and hurt of your dear daughter first of all, and then subsequently of your dear beautiful wife. That almost destroyed you, Jack.
That was very, very, very severe on me, and still at set times and at times it's difficult to deal with. It never goes away, and you just learn to cope with it. But good memories of both my daughter and my wife Pauline, and the two. Someone asked me before about who inspired me, and it was the two women in my life, which was my wife, my daughter, and my mother. Yeah. My mother's a great woman. There was 10 of us in the family, and I was always a great admiration and proud of her for what she had to do, how she had to cope in hard times.
You walk strongly alone these days.
I do, yeah. Yeah, and
the word strongly is the operative word here, because I see you not as a broken man, I see you as a strong man, able to reach out to others.
Yes, and I have a great affinity with the community. As an independent councillor, I have great friends right across the whole divide. And when I see things that's happening in other parts of, say, for example, Belfast with the flag issues and various parades issues, it doesn't happen in this area. We don't see it, and we are blessed with that. But I could never understand those sort of issues, and we are lucky that we don't have them here, because I think we're very tolerant people. I am personally, and I reach out to everyone, and everyone is my friend.
What do you see as you peep over the horizon? Is it going to continue? Are you going to continue in the service of the people, or is that coming to an end?
Well, I'm in the process of making my mind up at the moment, and that's down to what it always has been with me, is the feel of the people on the street. When I meet...
Well, you know what that feel is.
Yes.
They want to hug you and shake your hand, and do you want a cup of coffee, Jack? For God's sake. You don't have any making minds up to do.
No, well, I do, because there's going to be a lot of more responsibilities. It's going to be a wider remit, if you like, and there'll be a lot more travel in it, because we'll be merged with Down Council, which will be the Newry and Down Council. Newry and Mourne and Down will be probably the biggest in circumference of any of the councils. It'll be the third in population, and then there'll be all the extra responsibilities that's coming to the councils, like roads, small road maintenance, gully emptying, snow, grit, all those sorts of things. There's going to be and a great demand on any local representative. So I had to think about that.
Yeah.
Coming to the age I am, would I be given justice?
What age are you now?
Constituents? 70.
You're 70
Yeah.
and 9 months.
That's correct.
Because you didn't include there the 9 months you were in the factory being made. That's an important 9 months too.
Correct.
It
Absolutely.
really is,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But Jack, you go forward from here, and maybe you can go out on a bang and tell the people now your precise, finely focused and accurate information that the deal has been done on the bridge.
Yes, well, it's at the moment it's at a very sensitive place at the moment, because I think that the both governments, and particularly the Irish government, they're looking to get extra funding from Europe, and they're lobbying Europe through Interreg 5.
It's maybe too late.
It may not be, because the governments have great influence.
So an extension of the time limit.
Yes, I think that's what will happen, and I personally do think that the bridge it will happen.
Yeah.
It will do.
Has to the best of your knowledge, has the private entrepreneur who was expressing an interest or been encouraged, has that gone away, or is he still in the frame?
Oh, we're still in the frame, and all options are on the table, because you have to see what pans out over the next 2 weeks. I think is crucial.
Okay, Jack, we're going to play you a bit of music, and then we're coming back to you, because Sarah Gilbert will be with me on the couch, settee, on the sofa, whatever you want to call it, and we'll be shooting the breeze and really looking forward to September time, a lovely time of the year, I think. Don't you?
Lovely. I think
Music, Sean, por favore.